Hi everyone. I've been wanting to do something on this topic for a while now. Um, the topic I'm going to talk about today is called spiritual abuse. Basically, this is a situation where you have put your, um, I suppose, your trust and your knowing, um, your knowing to one side, and your trust in something external rather than trusting your inner self. For example, if you find that you are becoming dependent on a spiritual leader or a spiritual advisor, or a method or means of collecting information through a spiritual, I suppose, filter. For example, if you getting a card reading or going to any spiritual guide. This is amazing when used appropriately and when required. This becomes, I suppose, something different when there is a dependency built up there and a disregard of one's own knowing and inner voice. Also, you must remember that when you go to anybody for help, that you are going because you are vulnerable. You are looking for answers, and essentially, in other words, you are in some way lost. Within this zone, personally, you are probably more susceptible and more open to being abused in some shape or form. This is slight in comparison to, can be slight in comparison to other, I suppose, situations or experiences that are out there. It's also very relevant because it's so subtle, and one would expect that the information you receive or the guidance you receive is trustworthy. This is the case some of the time, and some of the time there's maybe too much of a dependency on something outside of yourself. So this is really just an example of you not trusting your own inner self and your own inner knowing, and being overly dependent on something outside of yourself where you are not involved in the outcome, you are not involved in the information that is, I suppose, given to you. Dane here from Access Consciousness has said before that he did the spiritual thing, we'll call it. He did a lot of different types of, I suppose, healing, and he got different types of guidance in that. And I think what he said is very relevant here, where he realised at one point that he wasn't actually involved anymore in the information he was receiving, which disempowered him, and also made him realise that he wasn't the creator of his own reality, and that he wasn't the creator of his own life, which took away any kind of power or self-power that he may have had to turn his life around or to change things for the better, or in whatever way he wanted to change them. So I suppose the message is that there's a difference between, I suppose, giving away your power to somebody to give you information that you actually already know, but you're putting your trust and, I suppose, you're putting your trust in someone or something else that may render you disempowered and may also render you dependent. And also, if somebody offers you something in this way and you haven't, I suppose, consented to it, there's another aspect there to that as well, where there should be no force into something like that. There should be no force into guidance. There should be, in a clean environment, there should be somebody coming for help, or guidance or support, and there should be somebody to receive it in the amount that they want to receive it, and the practitioner picks up on that and knows the amount to deliver. So it should be a very clean meeting of two people. If that is the case, then that's amazing. And that also means that everybody is looking at, I suppose, everybody is clean, everybody is looking at what they either have to offer or what they are able to receive. It becomes something different when you become dependent on another person to make you happy or to fulfill your needs. And one of the pitfalls I think that people may fall into is in the spiritual category, because maybe you don't expect to be met with that in that arena. So my advice to you would be that if it feels murky, or if it feels like you are vulnerable and are not met with what you require, or that there's a pull or a draw or any kind of force into something that you're not comfortable with, then I would maybe take pause and enjoy the spiritual your spiritual pursuits, and enjoy going to people for readings and that, and all of that all that comes with that. There is a question mark around when it becomes something different, and when it becomes something that you depend on more than is probably appropriate. Okay, that's it for today. So take back the power, empower yourself, know yourself, trust your inner knowing, trust your inner sensing. Sometimes they will marry with what you have heard. See it as a confirmation rather than somebody giving you information that you didn't already know. Okay guys, I'll talk to you.